Relentless, probing, fearless. This is Emmy Award-winning Full Disclosure with Leslie Dutton, bringing you the truth by revealing the news behind the news.
There is a mean dogfight going on within the biggest law enforcement union in the country that is going completely unreported by the mainstream media. At a time when they need to be cohesive, this union, the Association of Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, is being torn apart by an internecine power struggle. Former ALADS President Roy Burns is in the thick of the controversy. It's a pretty hot, volatile situation right now with the union and the board of directors.
Worst I've ever seen it. I was a board member for 12 years, both president and board member. I was a unit rep for a couple years before that, directly involved in it. I watched the union for a couple years before that, and then the 8 years I've been gone, I have watched it. This today is the most volatile time I have ever seen, and it is not because of the incumbent president, Mondo Macias. He is doing a great job. It is other people working against him. These people don't understand that ultimately they affect the deputy sheriffs by having an internal struggle for power. And the people who want that power put aside the interests of the deputy because of their desire to have that power. And that's unfortunate.
Former Sheriff Lieutenant Patrick Gomez was the president of the second biggest law enforcement union, POPA, or the Professional Peace Officers Association. He has witnessed firsthand this destructive fraternal fighting in both unions. We got a copy of a release that was just sent out, dated March 24th, from ALADS, and they're quoting their president, President Don Jeffrey Steck, that ALADS members want to support a candidate for sheriff who can stabilize the department. And then we get another letter from another group saying that they're ALADS. And they're quoting another person for president that's different than this one. So it appears now ALADS has two boards.
Yeah, they're in chaos over there. They don't know what they're doing. You know, like you said, there's one guy who sends out a press release saying we're not going to make an endorsement, but like you read the part where it says, but our membership, want a sheriff. So then why aren't they taking any kind of action? Why aren't they making an endorsement if they know that their membership wants something to happen, but the board is totally disregarding their membership and saying, well, that's great, we acknowledge it right here, we put it in writing, but we're not going to make an endorsement. And then you have another group who's saying, no, this guy's the president, and so he's leading the organization. So it's, they're a mess over there. And they need to try to figure out what the heck's going on. And
all this squabbling is going on, not among the members, but by a chosen few leaders at the top of the union, who are fighting to control the millions of dollars of union dues and who gets political contributions. The president has been selected by the 7 members of the board,
yes,
and then somehow he was removed. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, he was elected by a majority of the board, and he upon taking office, he was in a position where individuals did not like the direction he was headed. They were able to bring one vote to their side, and by bringing that vote to their side, they had enough to remove him, they thought. But turns out that the individuals who so covet that power had changed the bylaws a couple years back that it had to be a unanimous vote to remove a president because they were the president at that time. Or I'm sorry, not the president, but in positions of power. So they change it. Now it has to be unanimous. They know they're solidified in that position. Unfortunately, now that they want to regain their power and take that current president out, they can't do it with a simple majority. They need a unanimous board that they did not get. So they said, no, that's not true. All we need is simple majority. You're out. Well, it's not going to work that way. You're going to make the rules, you got to follow the rules.
One of the motivating factors in this fight is the fact that there is no incumbent sheriff. There are 7 candidates for sheriff vying to get elected, and Lieutenant Gomez thinks that this is what is tearing these union bosses apart.
I think part of the problem is different people, different board members want different candidates to be endorsed. And so the numbers that I have seen so far show that McDonald from Long Beach got the most votes in their election that ALADS held, which doesn't make any sense to me, because I was on 31 and a half years, and I know that deputies are not going to vote for a person who came from LAPD to run the sheriff's department. But yet you look at those numbers and there's something not right.
Roy Burns is trying to downplay the endorsement issue. Is it have anything to do with the candidates and the open seat?
You know, I have to tell you, it's very, I'm very confident to say has very little to do with the election. This is about power. This is about maintaining a status quo at the union. This is about a culture that has developed throughout the years that puts the union first and the deputies second.
But the power of the union endorsement can be huge. Lieutenant Gomez explains how the union is wasting their resources by not getting behind a candidate with an endorsement.
I don't know what they're waiting for, because to me, this is the most important election probably ever in the history of the Sheriff's Department, because you don't have an incumbent sheriff. You don't have an incumbent, so it's irresponsible for the unions not to make an endorsement prior to June, because whoever the sheriff is going to have a direct impact on their membership. And so you would think that they would be concerned about who the next sheriff is and listen to the membership when they send out their ballots and endorse that candidate. But apparently that's not important.
We want to know what you, the viewers, think. Please respond to our survey and leave your comments below. Number 1, do you believe this power struggle is over the candidates winning the endorsement of the union? Number 2, do you believe the main reason the union board members are quarreling is to get the power and all the lucrative financial benefits of being in charge of the union? Please be sure to leave your comments below. I'm Leslie Dutton. Thank you.
So this time you don't have an incumbent sheriff. And so this is the perfect opportunity for them to do something. And now they're saying they're going to wait until after June. And I guess POPA is probably going to do the same thing, which to me is very irresponsible, because they represent thousands of employees within the Sheriff's Department who pay dues every month, who pay money into the PAC every month, and yet their leadership of both unions has decided not to do anything.